everyone, welcome to Brandon Woodworkers Club. Ready to build something awesome together?
You gotta buy the equipment. I made a cutting board for my wife, and my daughter saw it. And she says, Dad, she says, I gotta have one. So I wound up making her a cutting board. And I said, I saw some zebra wood here, and I love the end grain on zebra wood. So what I did was I made another cutting board for my wife, the second one. And what I did was I put the zebra wood end grain onto this board. Now the thing is, with the zebra wood, the thickness of it, it looks like it's 3/4, but when you measure it, it's undersized. So I can't use the 3/4 inch cutter. So what I had to do was I made up these. And when you put the two halves together, make sure you do it half-half and not this way. Because I screwed it up on the test piece and I wound up having to recut it. I got most of it out, but I know that I don't put my little test pieces in here. And the way it works is you put the 1/4 to 1/4 using a 1/4 inch tool or half to half. And that's what I used on that, was a half to half. And then what you do is you take your piece and you clamp it in between like that. And when you clamp it in between, it sets the distance. Then you drive this face and this face with the base of your palm router, and it cuts right there. Because this was cut off of the shoulder. So it's right there. Then I made these up because I didn't use a domino to hold these together. So what I did was...
But you can now if you need to.
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah.
But in order to hold these together so that they are flush, I made these up. Kenwood.
I know it.
Yeah. But when you put it on there and you put a clamp over the top of it, what it does is it sets them dead flat, so you don't have to... I wound up sanding these. I didn't have to run them through the planer. But that's it.
Good job.
And then the corners, I made this up.
And I never figured you for a jig making
It's a
guy.
template. It's easy.
Cool, nice job.
And then
Oh, go ahead.
I had some dice. Thank you, sir.
I guess it's my time.
What's that?
Okay, you know, I made a walking stick the last time, and of course, a lady asked me would I make her one. Then I had to go and make one so she could put into her luggage. So this is birch, and I put her name on it. You know, I got a U engraver, and I'm having fun with that thing. I really am. So anyway, it's walnut. This is birch stain. I was just using scrap wood, and I'm playing with my engraver. My grandchildren love to paint, so I just throw some things together and they can come over and they paint. This was a hub, air propeller hub. I cut it in two. And I wanted to try something different, so I put a piece of cedar in the bottom. This one I want to use my engraver. So I'm going to start putting things. Rick, I remember one time you wanted to know how to put in, you know, something, a design in your bowls. So with the engraver, it works. That's it.
Job. I looked at it earlier.
Nice job.
Where's the picture?
David.
I was going to ask you that.
So I had a chance to make a lot more pins since last month. I had my pool's getting redone, so I'm pretty sure my nieces and nephews are going to show up a lot more over the summer. So I made a bunch of gifts so they don't go empty-handed. But I actually had to order for an ebony pin too. I just cut that and ended up resharpening my chisel through half of the cut because it kept on chipping off the pieces of metal from the ebony wood. I was like, it was a really cheap blade too. But so I did Purple Heart. I cut a band into it with the metal, and it took forever to get it hot enough to burn the Purple Heart. I have another one here. It's a lighter wood, but it burned in bands a little bit easier, made a little bit thicker on the slimline pin. So overall, they came out pretty nice. And I eyeballed the gap between them, so I think it came out okay. But the finish is coming out a lot better. I paid attention to what Rick said last time too, and some of the other guys about how to get the finish looking really nice. They come out pretty good. So But the ebony, if I turn one again and I charge for it, I'll probably charge double what I charged last time because it just took so long. I was afraid I was going to blow up the whole blank too. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of these, and I found a piece of maple too. I had a piece of maple laying around in my garage, so I turned that, and it looks like kind of like a pool cue, you know, with the grain on the side there. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then some orange Osage, I think is what this is, and it had some imperfections in it, so I filled those in, and it actually came out pretty cool. So I mean, it's a shame that I can't find something like this again because that's the last one of these I'll ever have like that. So I probably won't sell that one either. So this is probably my personal collection for a long time. So anyway, but that's just my pin collection for now.
Rocky.
This is Love and Bloom. This is the state fair entry that I put in fretwork that nobody had gotten to see. They put it over in the opposite corner of the rest of the, I think there's another piece here that they did the same thing to, but this is fretwork. This is made out of a cut-off piece of it always escapes me, sorry. Anyway, it's spalted, and then I backed it with a light color, which may have been somewhat of a mistake, then backed it with walnut. That's just a cut-off piece from the trunk of a tree. That goes back to 2019 when we were selling stuff.
Yeah.
And Bill Powell threw it at me. He said, "Here, take this home," and it sat on my shelf from 2019 till 2025, and that's when I cut this out. So it's not going to warp much more. And it's finished in shellac. There's about 10 coats of shellac on it that were hand rubbed in between. So, thank you. Thank you.
Bruce?
Well, I didn't bring mine in as it's kind of on the large side. My wife wanted a bench for the patio. So what I did was I took a 8-foot 10-inch long slab of monkey pod, ran it through the planer on both sides. It's 19 inches wide. Then sanded it. I hand peeled 12-inch diameter pieces of cypress with a draw knife and made a bench for her. Okay. Sanded, and then this is the finished side of it. This has got the first coat of marine varnish on it, spar varnish on it, and it's got one more coat to go on it, and then she'll have her nice little bench to put out on the patio. And it is heavy. Come back, come back, come back, come back. Sorry.
I keep having to build these things. The problem is I found out people don't know, okay, well, how do I fill it? To me, it was second nature. You take the top, you unscrew the top, you take the top off, you put the pepper in. You take the top off of here, you put your salt in. But it's amazing how many people, or they fill the salt up to the top, or the pepper up to the top. You gotta leave about a ½ inch because it's got about a ½ inch piece at the bottom here. My problem is the screw has got a spring in it, which makes it a pain in the ass to put in. But as you can see, you got a little bit of a dip there, so it does take a little bit of talent. Not a whole lot, but it's amazing how many people with advanced degrees can't figure it out. I ran into an outfit out of California that's selling these blanks. They don't tell you what the wood is, but he embeds the wood in resin, charges $10 a piece, but you can get 6 of them for $32. Now, I don't know how you do that, but...
You said they came from California?
Huh?
Did they come from California?
Southern California.
That explains it.
There you go.
But one of the things I wanted to talk about is the new Stratus pen from Penn State. It's a click pen, and it's one of the few click pens that I've been really satisfied with because it works. And it's a four-piece construction. The whole, with the exception of the nib, with the location of the clicker up here, the whole assembly is all put together, and the two pieces here, the one here plus the tube, so it goes together and nothing flat. I did run into some canary wood at the Polk County Club. They had 2 long sticks. I was looking at canary wood that looks similar to this with some of the sapwood on it, and they wanted $7.50 a blank. So that's $15 for basically 2 blanks. Well, they had 2 long sticks of the stuff that had sapwood on it, and I was able to get it at an auction for $15. So as far as I'm concerned, I came out ahead. Problem is now I got a lot of canary wood blanks that I won't use. That takes care of me.
You offer your blanks for sale for $6.
Then it's actually that kind of California, right?
Okay, well, this is, I call it mine, but it really should be Rick's. I mean, I kind of stood by and watched, and when he felt like I couldn't do too much damage, then I stepped in. I mean, I've been an apprentice for turning for probably close to 20 years now. But no, I mean, so this is not my first pepper mill. It's my second. But anyway, I do take some ownership in it, I guess, because I did some of it. But anyway, this is it, and I really like the little turquoise strip. That was kind of my idea because it had a crack in it, so I will take credit for that. So, here we go. Okay, Bob, where's? And then Ron, you're on deck.
Hey, Rob.
This particular cat is by the artist Charles Hand, and he frequents the Woodworkers Journal, Scroll Soul Woodworkers magazine. And this is one of his new styles, and he calls it stylist. It's a little bit different than your other Scroll Soul work. And I actually made this for the show, but beside this one, there was 2 other ones, a buck and a dancer. And before I knew what happened, I didn't make the closeout to enter it this year, but next year I'll probably put it in. It's made out of birch. I can't tell you how many holes, it just took time. And the frame is by Kenny, after all, it's birch. And if you do it right, it comes out right if you got the right jig.
Don't tell until you look at it straight on that it's a cat. That is awesome. Don't show that to my wife.
How long did it take?
It's a cat and a tree.
How long did it take you?
It took me about 25 blades, number one. So you could figure out, it's only about 20 minutes, and then you got to get up and take a walk. You're just looking at it, it does take time.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Robert.
Anybody want to take a guess what I brought? So every time, what's the rule? Every time I fail at something, I bring what? Bring a board, right? Some kind of cutting board. Well, I graduated to chessboards now, right? So now, every time I fail at something, I bring a chessboard. So I found this site called like Bell Forest or something like that. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but they have wood on sale. But they have all kind of crazy woods, like Cadillacs and things I never heard of. But they sell them in like those 1.5 or 1 1/4 pieces, so you can kind of cut them off and make chess pieces. So I just keep buying a lot of that crap and keep making chessboards, right? So I made this one. I made another one here, but I failed at the color. I was trying to get something a little more opaque to kind of block out the cheap little ply that I keep doing, and didn't do that well either, right? And then this one, I got the color right. I got the color. It's not finished, obviously. I got the color right. I got the nice little combination going. Jacked up the border, and then had a little mishap here with the side cut off. So I tried to glue it on. I'm like, I'll just glue it back on. But it's a little what do you call it? Warped. So I had it like this. Tried to put it down, and it dropped lower because the board is raised up. So that glued on improperly.
We're going to have a special celebration when you come in and say, look, it's perfect.
I have something in the works that might be perfect. This one's unfinished. I'm still looking for ideas to salvage it, but that's it.
Caleb, you're on deck.
All right. I got an order for some more turkey call stands.
Who from?
And I managed to keep this one because after making 2, I was doing the 3rd one, and Mark and I decided to do a video of it. So I took it over there. I went very carefully through the video, how to mark everything and how to watch and be careful you didn't make a mistake on your cuts because it's so easy to do. And I'm standing there and I make my first cut on the tails and I cut the tail off. So I figured, well, I can glue it back on. I can keep this one just for a reminder at home. And we did do the video though, and say Corso Homes, Mark?
Yeah.
Is that where it is? If you're interested in how these are done, there's a YouTube there on them now. So
You can send a link to the PWC officer and I'll send it out.
Okay, all right.
Good job, Robert.
Now, for my state fair, first time entering my state fair project ever, and took me 86 hours, and put custom whiskers in it and all that, and drilled tiny holes that were absolute nightmare, and then made custom eyes and all that. And then when I started gluing it, nothing started to fit together like it should have. So I went over to Ken's house and went, "Can you help me?" And he looks at it and goes, "Oh, that's too hard for me." And I went, "Well, that's fantastic here." So, and then I started taking it apart with a hammer and a screwdriver. Yeah, that was fun. And then started putting it together in smaller sections instead of trying to put it together in one big section. And then I put it into the state fair. I didn't think I was going to win anything because I'm going up against all you guys that are been woodworking for way longer than I have. So I was like, oh, I'll just throw it in. What the heck? I might as well try.
What are the species of wood?
Cherry, walnut, hickory, birch, oak, and black ebonine for the eyes and the mouth.
That's nice. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Well, these aren't necessarily
be part of the
new.
future either.
Made some before. Everybody's called Thor's hammer, but the thing I like about it is actually use these in the wood shop. And the thing that I just tell you give away the secrets, right? You use a 5-degree angle, approximately. The advantage you have is I hated hitting my knuckles when I went to pick something off the table. So however you drop this thing down, you're not going to hit your knuckles on the table. right? This was scrap, Babinga, rosewood, Paduke, zircony, and mostly Babinga, but I will tell you, this thing will knock a hole in something if you need to. But and if you notice, what you do if you want to get this kind of fixture on here, I prefer the square because it just fits my hand better. Not everybody. What you do is you take your thing that's going to be your staff or your handle, keep it about 6 inches longer than you need. Carefully on your joiner, you start it flat over the joint area. So when you run it back, what you end up doing is you get that taper, but as long as you leave it square on the ends, the level plane keeps it going, so you can get equal cut on each side. But now if you offset the wood slightly, so maybe it's 1 inch by 1 1/4, then you start getting a more defined shape out of that. And again, you leave the extra on there and cut it off when you're done, so you don't try to run it through and clip anything off. So there's all the secrets. I do recommend on the centerpiece, cut the hole first and fit the thing to it, or you're going to try to use a Forstner bit or something else, and you're just going to be mad. So when you're doing your center glue up, knock that out, dado it out, cut it out however you feel best. That way at least you got a starting point, and then fit your shaft to it, certainly.
You say that's comfortable to use the square handle. I was looking earlier.
To me.
I thought, if you need somebody that can turn something for you, I can help you with that. But,
Yeah, I can turn too. I like square. Because you can buy turned handles anywhere, or somebody can make them, right?
yeah.
And then some people I make these for, they actually wrap them with like 550 cord, a paracord or something if you want to grip. There's several different ways to add that. Even the bicycle tape, like bicycle handles, gives you a real good grip and it doesn't slide. And I used a butcher block finish on that, so when you beat it up, sand it down a little bit and start over.
Okay. This was the other hidden piece next to David's. They put it somewhere else. I went to look for all the woodworking stuff, not to be found, but it was over in the very far corner. The good news is I won a second place on this. A lot of this is turned, and some of it is bandsawed, and some of it is scroll sawed. But it came out nice. I originally built this as part of my project. I made a whole bunch of toys for the Children's Hospital, but my granddaughter liked this, so I wound up keeping it. One other thing that actually doesn't have very much to do with woodworking, but has something to do with what's going on today. 51 years ago, my son was born in Broward County, and when he came home, the hospital had a whole bunch of stuff that came with him, and I had never seen it until last week when my wife was going through some old things, and she pulled out this little card that came home with the baby, and it says, "Dear baby Nanis, I noted with pleasure the announcement of your arrival in Broward County, Florida. Please accept my congratulations. You have been blessed with citizenship in the greatest nation in the world, and I hope you'll take an active part in your role as a citizen. Please convey my thanks to your fine parents, and be sure to register to vote when you reach legal age. Signed, the Supervisor of Elections." What a wonderful thing, and especially today. You know, some people believe in coincidence. I believe in providence, so that's what that is.
That doesn't look like wood.
This was wood.
Talking about in your right hand.
Oh, this part. Well, this is sort of a double show and tell. This was a guitar that I put together, and now I've taken it apart because I had to put some clear coat on it for the state fair. all the guitar makers had a glass display out there, but
It was a whole guitar then.
it was a whole guitar. So yeah, so I needed to put a clear coat on it, but I wanted to show how I do my painting. This is a jig that I made, which is just a copy of something I think Fender uses in their production line. But this basically goes in here and allows me to rotate it, and then I can also rotate this platform so that when I have a spray paint, like I said, I stole the design, but when I have a spray gun, you know, I can just kind of make it go like that while I'm spraying the edges, and then I can keep it in one spot and just kind of, you know, treat it like that and spray all around. It's really neat. But this finish is, shall I say, it was not planned this way, but it was a pleasant surprise. I was experimenting with different things. It started out with a pine wood guitar, which typically, you know, guitars are not normally made out of pine unless they're painted, because, you know, that's not the prettiest of wood, and it's a little bit soft. So I decided I would put a coat of epoxy to kind of help prevent dings from occurring. And then I had some of this color changing paint, but you have to put black underneath it. And then you put the color changing paint. And it started to look really good. And then I realized I had some runs. I tried to fix them. I ended up getting bare wood. So I said, I'm just going to start all over again. So I sanded it down. I couldn't get very much past the, I didn't want to totally mess up everything. But I got it down pretty flat, and it was just the paint, the color changing paint on the back and the front. And I ended up going down to wood on the edges. So I put some shellac, and then I put some black paint, and I got some orange peel. I go, I know what orange peel is. That means it's too thin. So I thickened up the spray, and I came back, and I expected a nice even black coat, and I found this. And my first reaction was, oh no! And then I said, yeah, that looks pretty good. So here it is, you know? But, yeah, one of those happy accidents.
A couple of years ago, one of my neighbors, in my neighborhood anyway, he wanted to cut down a tree in his yard, and I happened to come by, and he had logs already cut, and it turned out it's sweet gum. And I hadn't really made anything out of sweet gum, so he asked if I wanted some logs, so I did, but it's been in my garage curing until now. And so this is the first bowl that I've made out of it, and so I'm going to swing by his house in the next few days and give it to him as a thank you for giving me that wood, and then the rest of it I'll make some more bowls. I'm going to pass this around. This is spar varnish, my finish that I like for bowls. So anyway,
You accepting collections in that?
I do that in church.
Just checking.
Nice.
Did a couple of more bandsaw boxes with just some leftover pieces. This is both are out of black limbo. This has maple for the drawer pulls, black walnut for the drawer pulls. Have not blocked them yet. The front is set up where you can set your phone on it. So just another way of using up more scraps. And there is an error. My bandsaw blade, the bearing came loose a little bit and chewed up one side of the blade, and I got some odd drift on the bottom, so a little more slop. That's it. And they're finished with Total Boats Wood Honey.
Nice.
Ray?
So I was here a couple months ago, I guess. It's been a while since I've been here, and I brought in my prototype of this Soji lantern. So I made another one, and actually there's a gentleman that works here, and this wood is Wenge. and he showed me a wand that he made at one time, and what he said was try bleaching it, and that's how we got the white to come through on that. So I thought I dropped the remote in the parking lot, but so it has this LED and the colors will change. You can't see it very well here, but green to blue, and it'll keep going. So
What is the glass made out of?
glass.
Is it a stain, or did you color it?
No, this is something, actually, I have a sister who does stained glass, and this is something she found, and it's, I don't know if it's one of a kind, but
Very
yeah,
interesting.
it's, so I did some mentorship, I guess, working with Vernon Blackadar, and he's always like, always number your pieces, right? Sign them. In this case, and I started naming these. So this is graffiti. All right, and I have several others that I made, so making some progress. And
What was the process for bleaching the wood?
so I found a tub. I had already cut the pieces, right? These are 3/4 inch square. And I laid them all out, kind of suspended them, and put some bleach in a spray bottle, and that looked okay. So I decided to put paper towel down rather than suspending them above, and that way the bleach would get absorbed by the paper towel and still have some more bleaching effect as it went through. So looking at it, it's not zebra wood if you look at it, right? It's just, but I suppose you could do the same thing. It's
cool.
Yeah. It's got a cool effect.
Okay, and Mike, you're on deck.
How many more we got? How?
This is the last one. But these are both keys. Oh, there. Okay.
Control of the money, we gotta let him.
You didn't fill out.
I know, I was selling. Yeah, I made these boxes, I used dovetails, and I'm trying to make a hope chest, but I figured if it's easier to make small ones than big ones, and that's just scrap wood that I had in the shop. And I got some wood from Kenwood, and made some more pens for him. So these go into the guys over there at the propeller place.
Thank you.
Yep.
Two quick things. Oh,
Wait,
I'm sorry.
please, you're.
Who's up?
You.
Okay, sorry about that. I was inspired last month by Mark Corso, that he made some spatulas and different things like that, and I made about 25 of them. Call them cowboy spatulas. Real simple, but I had a bunch of scrap wood, thin, so it was real easy. A 2-hour project. I've been building the house for about a year and a half, and I'm just about done. It drives me crazy because I don't have time to get out in the wood shop and make sawdust. So I just said, I'm just gonna go out and do something simple. So, I had some brazier maple, some leopard wood, some maple, and some of that mesquite from Texas. So I made 25. These are what my wife picked out of the 25, and the rest of them are going to be just given to the family or whatever. So had a good time doing that.
Yes.
I picked up Keith's guitar that he made, that we're going to auction this off for the veterans with PTSD. We work with them to teach them how to play guitar, and then we buy them a guitar, and this is the one. And he won the Best of Show at the Strawberry Festival in the decorative decor, I think it's what it was called. anyway, very proud, and I talked him into letting me steal it and keep it for him. But here's the logo for the Guitars for Vets, and we're very serious in trying to help those guys and gals get through that. Also, well, he got a blue ribbon as well, first place, but he also got Best of Show. And then I brought in one of my guitars that I had in the show over there, and this has got 9 coats of catalyzed urethane on it, and then I hand sanded it down to 3000 grit, and then I polished it out on my buffer, and then it's got inlay and shellfish inlay here, and I'm really proud of my miters. They're pretty good, and that's unusual. But anyway, it's really pretty on the back, and I told them to display it with the back showing to the public because it's really pretty. Anyway, turned out great, and I got a blue ribbon for that, and I was surprised because I saw this sitting like this, and I had this red ribbon hanging, and he had the big purple one there. I thought I got second place, but what I got was the President's Award for the overall first place in the whole show. Wow.
Jim, what kind of wood is on the back?
The back and the sides are Indian rosewood. The top is
Strawberry Festival or the State Fair?
I had it in the Strawberry Festival.
He missed the deadline for the state fair, just so you know.
Yeah.
Real quick, folks. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks for watching the Brandon Woodworkers Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great content. Click next for another woodworking project.